Hey everyone, welcome to another of our bi-monthly coaching workshops. And today we're going to be talking about working under pressure and be at your best when it matters. I will turn off the camera as we're going through this workshop as a way for you guys to focus more on the information rather than me talking. And then at the end of the call, if we have any questions, I'll happily open them up to questions. And we're going to get started in about 1 minute. So I'm just going to flip off the camera and then I'll flip the camera back on when we get started. Hang on 1 second. All right, we are about to get started. So as always, I'm going to turn off the camera once I start talking. Any questions, please let me know and I will answer them at the end of the questions. Excuse me, at the end of the workshop. So, today, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about working under pressure and how to be at your best. Let's face it, everyone feels pressure at certain times, but some people feel it more than others, and some people handle it differently. There are those that fold under even the slightest pressure, while others thrive under a moderate amount of pressure, but succumb to the power of pressure as the magnitude increases. There is also a small group of people that seem to be addicted to pressure. They often work on Wall Street, in emergency rooms, or at risk taking entrepreneurs. Even the wide range responses, pressure and stress are interesting topics. One prominent psychologist has proven his skills to predict which couples will divorce. With an accuracy rate of 74%, the best criterion he has found to predict which marriages will last and which will not is the ability to deal with pressure. How couples deal with high pressure conversations in their relationship is the best predictor of marriage success or failure. The ability to manage pressure can influence every part of your life: physical health, mental, emotional health, relationships, the ability to parent, career, finances. Your skill in handling stress and pressure can affect these different aspects of your life. Since pressure is common and is a common part of life, learning to handle it is often appropriately makes a lot of sense. One of the greatest myths perpetuated regarding high performers and pressure is that they rise to the occasion. The idea that some people perform at average levels under normal amounts of pressure and perform better under high pressure has better proven to be false. However, they can perform at a comparable level under high pressure while others suffer from poorer performances. Numerous studies of baseball players, golfers, and basketball players show that no one has consistently performed better under clutch conditions than they do under normal circumstances. Michael Jordan hit 49.7% of his shots over his career. His percentage when taking game-winning shots, 48%. No player here has ever considered more reliable under pressure, and he was just slightly worse under pressure than he was under normal game conditions. Far more impressive than most, but still not proof that anyone performs better under high pressure. So pressure affects everyone. It influences some more than others. Regardless of the present Regardless of your present ability to deal with pressure, you can do better. There are numerous tools and strategies available for those who want to deal successfully with pressure. The responsibility to use them is yours. Let's repeat that. The responsibility to use them is yours. What happens to your mind and body under pressure? Some people like to think that they do their best work under pressure. We do our best work when the stakes are highest, right or wrong? Numerous studies have shown it's just the opposite. Under pressure, we naturally play not to lose rather than to win. There is more emphasis placed on avoiding risks than doing excellent work. It's natural to take an approach that will reduce the likelihood of failure and criticism. This isn't the time that people pursue an outstanding result. Safety becomes the target, mediocrity is the result. The biology of pressure. When your brain is faced with danger, even an imaginary danger, it begins a cascade of physiological responses to prepare for the danger. Unfortunately, these responses are geared towards enhancing your ability to respond physically. You're in a better psychological state to run or fight. However, your ability to manage good decisions is greatly compromised. How many times have you made decisions that you regret under stress? In those moments, the instinct is to make a decision that will relive the pressure as soon as excuse me. The instinct is to make a decision that will relieve the pressure as soon as possible. The long-term consequences are ignored. It all starts in the hypothalamus, which is structure located in the brain. Two pathways are stimulated when you feel when you feel stressed. One leads to the production and release of corticals. These chemicals allow the body to tap into the energy stored in the body. The other pathway involves adrenaline. This results in the shaky, jittery feelings you get before you give a speech. There are other signs of high adrenaline levels: increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, slow digestion, dry mouth, increased sweating, enhanced blood clotting, increased muscle tension, increased breathing rates. These are excellent responses to stress. If you need to avoid being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger or attacked in an alley, however, they're not a good response if you're not in physical danger. Long-term stress is highly damaging to the body and to the brain. What I want to do now is I want to talk about the mind under pressure. The hormones and chemical releases into your bloodstream affect not only your body, but also your mind. The mind undergoes changes when dealing with pressure. The instinct of self preservation is stronger when under stress. People are far more likely to engage in selfish behavior while under pressure. Thinking becomes more short term. Your brain wants relief now. You're more likely to take the easy way out and feel better right now than to consider the long term consequences. The upside gets more attention than the downside when making decisions. For example, for example, after a bad stretch at work, quitting becomes more attractive. More attention is paid to the upside of quitting than to the pitfalls of quitting and being without a job. When you're happier at work, you'll pay more attention to the negatives of quitting. Stress reduces the brain's ability to ignore distractions. This is part of the reason workers are more likely to make mistakes when under pressure and under stress. It's more challenging to stay focused on the work at hand. Short term memory, attention, and judgment are impaired. The likelihood of impulsive behavior is increased. While it, while it was believed that stress overstimulates the brain, the truth lies in the other direction. Stress disengages the small bundle of neurons in the frontal cortex. This area is involved in decision making. In a sense, pressure makes you dumber. Make more effective decisions under pressure. Pressure and bad decisions often go together. There are several obstacles to making wise decisions when your stress levels are high. Having awareness of this fact is an important first step. When you're under pressure, remind yourself that you need to be cautious before making any decisions. Attack your stress from a physiological perspective. Make your brain more resilient to the effects of pressure. Mindfulness is the best preventative medicine for your prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain that is numbed by pressure. When the prefrontal cortex isn't at full capacity, emotions have too much influence in decisions. When you're mindful, the brain retains the ability to filter out distractions, focus, and make smart choices. Slow down. The effects of stress speed up your actions and thoughts. This creates even more stress. It's not easy to slow down when you feel pressured to rush, but slowing down is an effective way to get out of your head and be more mindful. Slowing down also provides more time to think. Your responses to stress don't have to be automatic. You can create a little breathing space and take back control. Breathe. Your breath is one of the few physiological processes under your direct control. You can breathe faster, slower, deeper, more shallow, or hold your breath at will. Take control of your breathing when you feel stress. Try breathing in slowly for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 2 seconds, then exhale for 4 breaths. There's no reason to breathe deeply. Take breaths of normal depth. Understanding that natural responses during times of pressure is to breathe shallow. Take the deep breath you would take if you were relaxed. Overfilling your lungs can cause discomfort and even more stress. Relax your muscles. Relax your body will lower the stress you feel. It's natural for your muscles to tighten and hold stress. A massage or progressive relaxation recordings can release a lot of stress from your body. The impact on your mind and body from pressure filled situations is real. Let's repeat that. The impact on your mind and body from pressure filled situations is real. Use your body to combat stress and anxiety. These tools can take time to perfect, so begin them immediately. Psychological solutions to feel pressure. There are also psychological ways to address your stress. Use every tool available to you. The psychological tools are helpful but are even more potent when coupled with psychological tools. Excuse me, let's repeat that. The physiological tools are helpful but are even more potent when coupled with psychological tools. Attack your natural responses to pressure from every angle. Pressure doesn't require that you behave a certain way. A particular tough a particular tough belief or emotion doesn't have to lead to a particular action. You have the option to resist your instincts to be more deliberate in your decisions. Just because you're feeling frantic or feel that you must decide quickly doesn't mean that you must choose a course of action impulsively. You can consciously choose to take your time and consider all your options. Look ahead, far ahead. When you're 80, enjoying the Florida sun with your visiting grandchildren, will you care about that huge report your boss wanted on your desk by Monday? Will the stress of paying your will the stress of paying your bills 30 years earlier matter? Think about the things you were stressed about 20 years ago. What do you think about them now? You'll feel the same way in 20 years from now. Consider that you have more time. Consider that you may have more than one good choice. There's a tendency to believe that only you have one good option, especially when stressed. Just because you have multiple options doesn't mean that one of them is bad. Focus on what you want. Under pressure, we tend to make decisions to avoid negative outcomes rather than chase positive outcomes. Decide what you want, then make a clear decision that supports that. Let's repeat that again. Decide, decide what you want, then make a clear decision that supports that. Anxiety amplifies the negative. Turn your attention back to the positive. View pressure as an opportunity to have fun or to challenge yourself. You can choose to embrace those moments rather than dread them. When these situations are view as do or die, Your self conscious falters and your fear of failure grows. We respond positively to a non threatening challenge. The psychological response to a healthy challenge improves your ability to perform. Your body is more capable and you think more clearly. We wilt under pressure and thrive on challenges. So turn everything into a personal challenge. Challenge yourself to see if you can find the best solution while remaining happy and relaxed. Lower the stakes. Oh, excuse me. I jumped a slide by accident. Let me jump back real quick. Lower the stakes. Standing over a putt to win the Masters, the golfer would be wise to tell himself, just another putt. The more important you make the event in your mind, the more pressure you'll feel. Tell yourself it doesn't matter. It might seem far fetched, but it's not more ridiculous than convincing yourself that the situation is more important than it is. Put your focus on the task, not the results. The other way of saying to keep your attention on solutions and executing those solutions rather than on the issues itself. By focusing on the tasks, your brain will be cued to do the right things. If you need to complete a report, you'll know that you'll need to find the financials from last quarter. You might never look at the financials if you're too busy worrying about what will happen if you don't get it done. For longer tasks, keep reminding yourself of your mission. Remind yourself each day. You'll learn that focusing on each step of the solution is the best way to increase the odds of success. Remember, time remember the times when you were at your best. Let's repeat that again. Remember the times that you were at your best. Remembering your past successes increases your confidence and reduces your self-doubt. Think back to your greatest hits, especially if you have positive memories from your past of similar situations to your current challenges. If you were successful once, you can be successful again. Let's repeat that. If you were successful once, you can be successful again. Rely on your senses to keep yourself grounded. Your mind will run wild when you're stressed. Your thoughts are everywhere, but on the present moment. A quick way to bring your mind back to the present is to focus on your senses. What do you see right now? Describe the five things that you can see. Describe them in detail, and talk about them if you can. What do you hear right now? Close your eyes and describe what you hear. What do you feel? Are you cold? Do you feel pressure on your back? Do you feel grounded beneath your feet? Ask yourself these questions several times each day and whenever your focus is wandering. Practice, practice, practice. We're under varying amounts of pressure each day. Practice with situations that involve low stress. If you can handle situations that are mildly stressful more effectively, you'll become better at handling high pressure situations. Some lower stress situations might include being stuck in traffic, sitting through a horrible meeting, having a conversation with someone you don't like, giving a small presentation, hosting a party. Use your tools on lower stress situations, even if you don't need them. If you don't use them during lower stress times, they won't be available for you when you need them in the most. Practice is important. There are many mental tools available to either lower the pressure you feel or increase your ability to focus and make good decisions despite it. Again, practice is important. Let's repeat that. Practice is important. Begin using these tools in your daily life. Your ability to focus, enjoy life, and make beneficial decisions will flourish. Use your mind to your advantage. So let's talk next about how to be mindful in stressful situations. You already know how to use your senses to be more mindful, but there are many more strategies you can use. Increased mindfulness will help in other areas of your life. Those that are more mindful report better relationships, higher quality sleep, and more happiness. Mindfulness is the vitamin pill of mental health. So, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is paying attention in a particular way. You choose the things that you're going to pay attention to, and you pay attention to it in a non judgmental way. Suppose you come across a homeless man on your way to work. You notice his shoes. So far, so good. But once you make a judgment about his shoes, you're no longer being mindful. You might say to yourself that his shoes are cheap or dirty or even blue. You might say to yourself that he has nice shoes. It doesn't matter whether the judgment is negative, neutral, or positive. Once you apply a label to the shoes in your mind, you're no longer being mindful. If you can walk through your day this way, you won't believe how relaxed and happy you feel. You'll be amazed. Learn to be mindful during the most challenging situations and the most challenging times. Focus on your breathing. Whether we're not talking about controlling or manipulating your breathing, just observe your breathing. Notice how the air feels when it moves through your nose. Notice how your chest feels and your belly moves. The key is to observe without making judgment. If you say to yourself, I never noticed how big my stomach is from this angle, you're not mindfully paying attention to your breath. Avoid labeling your breath as good, bad, big, small, or anything else. You just observe it. Use simple tasks as practice. While you're getting dressed, don't think about everything other than getting dressed. The same goes for taking a shower, driving to work, or eating your lunch. Be mindful of your activities. Observe nature. Be mindful of a natural object, such as a tree or a bird in your environment. Just focus on it and keep your thoughts quiet. Observe anything about it without talking to yourself about it. There's no reason to say to yourself, the bird sure is blue. You're looking at it. So there's no reason to tell yourself something you already know. If you're stuck indoors, look out a window or find a photograph online. Use a reminder. Use a timer to remind yourself to be more mindful several times a day. At least once each hour, spend 1 minute or more being as mindful as you can. It will soon become a habit. Meditate. Those that meditate regularly can't say enough about the benefits. There are many ways to meditate, but the simplest is to sit down comfortably and focus on your breath for between 5 and 10 minutes. When your mind wanders, and it will, bring your attention back to your breath. It's hard to believe that something so simple can provide such a powerful benefits. Keep at it. Try to work up to 30 minutes at least once each day. Everyone gains con- every Everyone can gain from being more mindful. It's not just for monks meditating in a cave. Meditation has become so popular and there are so many popular tools in the field of medicine and psychology. You have everything to gain from increasing your ability to see the world from a more mindful perspective. All right, let's just wrap this up. Stress and pressure are part of the human condition. Consider that if your ancestors never felt nor responded to pressure, you wouldn't be here. Your genes would have been extinguished from the earth long ago, long ago. But times have changed. Those living in first world countries don't face the types of threats that plagued our ancestors. We have plenty to eat. No one is trying to kill us in a war, and we're not being chased by wild animals. The need for a strong psychological and physiological response to stress rarely exists anymore. You have challenges, but the fight or flight response does more harm than good in modern days. It's questionable if you could ever eliminate those instinctive responses. but you can minimize them and enhance your ability to work through them without being negatively impacted by their effects. Pressure results in, excuse me. Pressure results in physiological changes that alter the ways your brain works. The ability to make effective decisions and ignore distractions is compromised. Your brain attempts to eliminate the discomfort caused by adrenaline, adrenaline, even at the cost of your long-term success. All it wants is relief. Tools exist to lessen the impact of these negative body sensations. You can also learn to become more comfortable with them. As with anything else, the key to success in dealing with pressure is knowledge and practice. Practice making good decisions and staying focused during mildly stressful situations. The practice will the practice will prove to be invaluable when the pressure is on and you must be at your best. Remember that no one is truly at their best when under high levels of pressure. Enhancing your skills and managing pressure filled situations will ensure that you do your best under those circumstances. All right, guys, thank you for participating in this bi monthly workshop today on working under pressure. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to stay current, for those of you who are not on our newsletter, please go to our website at Elevate Life Project and sign up. Additionally, if you're looking for direction in life and you're not sure, you can take our free quiz, 3 minutes long, on how to find your true purpose by going to elevatelife.project.com/purpose. Thank you again, and I appreciate you all for participating.